Okay, hi everyone. Okay, yeah. Host, you were saying something. Miss
Yeah,
Kila, right? Yeah.
yes. So that we may start our class now.
Okay, all right, sure. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get started. Very good morning, everyone. Thank you very much to UPSI for organizing the class. Okay. So all of you, please kindly open your chat box. Yeah, chat box is very important during our class. Okay, so very good morning, everyone. Very nice to be back. We had very good, productive classes last year. We had 4 classes as well. And here we are back again to start. Very good morning to start again for this year, 2023. So 2023, we have some very, very interesting classes. As I promised last year, I won't be repeating most of the content from last year. Hi, Eka. Thanks for joining again. I believe I saw you in USM as well, right? If I'm not mistaken. So as I promised last year's class won't be repeated. So these are considerably very new classes, very new content. So it's a very different perspective we're going to teach today. Something that not everyone will touch, okay? Because it's very hard to actually explain how to read a paper. But this is the very fundamental of literature review. If you don't know how to read a paper, that means it's going to be very problematic when you want to do literature review. That's the problem with reading a paper. So the lesser we read, the tougher it's going to be for literature review. So that's the whole story of PhD itself. So what classes we have for this year, for 2023? So today is the first class. We are going to look at analyzing and synthesizing a Web of Science paper for high impact literature review. We are going to explore Web of Science database as well. We're going to look into research gaps. And then we are also going to look into databases, most importantly, and also how to find a topic. So you'll go backward. Okay, you'll go backward so that you can understand why we have to read paper very carefully. And then followed by the next class will be on, it's all predetermined already, the dates. Next will be 8th of June. Okay, so please jot down the date in your calendar. It will be 8th of June. 8th of June will be focusing on the fundamentals of literature review itself. So it won't be about reading papers anymore. It will be looking into the basics of literature review itself. That will be on 8th of June. Followed by the next subsequent class would be on 29th of August, which we will be focusing on writing review papers. So we don't only focus on proposal thesis only, although these first 2 classes will be focusing mostly on that. But the third class will be focusing a lot on publication, early publication. So we don't wait until we write, until we collect data, whether you do quasi-experimental or you do methodology, you do quali, you do quanti, you do experimental, full experimental, doesn't matter. But we don't want to write a paper only after getting the data. Okay, also, sorry, I haven't set up my camera to appear in front of the screen, so let me do that also. Okay, that's better. All right, so I think now all of you can see my face in front of presentation. I think so. Yeah, I think you guys can see. So the third class will be focusing entirely on systematic review, scoping review, how to actually produce review papers and so on. So that will be in August. Okay, then followed by that, the final finale. Okay, final class will be where we have set it. Let me see. Oopsie. Oh, the final class is August. Got one. September. No. The final class, I've missed out the date. Okay, never mind. I will update you guys when will be the final class during the second class. Okay, so it's not here. June. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's a slight mistake here. So oopsie would be second class would be 8th of June. Okay. Third class would be actually 29 August. And then the fourth class, I will confirm back the date. Okay, I'll confirm back the date. But the fourth class is the most important class because that is the finale where we will go hands-on literature review within 2 hours, like whatever time we have. We will go hands-on literature review. Okay, so now let's start today by looking into how to actually read a paper in the first place. Okay, so I'm Dr. Thawa. For those who don't know me, for those who are coming to my class for the first time, we are based in Cyberjaya, proofreading by UK PhD office. I finished my PhD in Newcastle, I think back in 2013. Yeah, 2013. I finished mine in 2 years and 11 months. Never did my master's, skip that. I went straight on fast track, graduated before time with about 12 publications. I had 8 ISI Q1 and then 4 low acceptance rate conferences as well. And then I graduated before time. That was not easy. Was very tough. But I don't usually talk about graduate on time, graduate before time. But although it's a good thing if you can make it, if you can't make it, it is totally okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't beat yourself up. If you're already delayed, you're already late into your PhD and so on. Let me tell you something. Every minute counts in PhD. Every minute counts. Every day counts. Because the quicker you finish all your requirements, whether proposal, thesis, publication, the quicker that you can complete your PhD and move into your life, okay, back into your life. Now, while doing PhD, you don't really have your entire life for yourself. Unfortunately, that's how it works. But having said that, I don't really market or encourage, not encourage, encouraging is good. I don't pressure on graduate, that's the right word. I don't pressure on graduate on time. If you can, it's great, plan early. But if you're already in your third year, second year PhD, and you know that you still need loads more time to complete your studies and so on, it's okay. As long as you complete after 3 years or within 4 years, or maybe worst come to us max within 5 years. Okay, within 5 years. Try not to go more than 5 years. Why? Because the tendency to drop out from your PhD is very, very high. For those master student also, I know you won't take up to 2 to 3 years, might take maximum 2 years. Don't go beyond that. Okay, don't go beyond that. And for PhD, don't go beyond 5 years because first you'll get very tired. We are human beings. Okay, we cannot exhaust ourselves, and we will tend to. Some people, not everyone. Some people will tend to give up. We don't want that after so many years of hard work. And second thing, a supervisor will also most likely get bored. Okay, will get bored, or will lose the spirit to get you going, to get you graduated also. So we don't want that to happen. So try to finish exactly 3 years if you can, or you want to stretch it a bit more, maybe 3.5, 4 years. If you really can't make it, or medical reasons, your work is really tough, really very, very busy and so on, maximum after fourth year. Okay, don't try to cross 5 years. I've seen my clients who came to me at the very last minute. Okay, they never start with us from beginning. That means coaching and consulting and so on. They never came. They came to me mostly at the 9th or 10th year. I've seen 2 to 3 candidates. One came at the 14th year. I've seen that before, and I've seen how mentally exhausted they were, and they were already giving up already. But thankfully, they graduated now. One of them will be Dr. Taira. She's the coordinator in UITM Pasir Kudang now. Okay, so thankfully she graduated. So we don't want that circumstances. We don't want that situation. So whatever problem you have early on, please solve it. Okay, so then I continued my journey. I was a postdoc in AIPT Birmingham, Aston Institute of Photonics Birmingham. And then I joined industry. I was in Telecom Malaysia R&D. I came back to Malaysia because I really wanted the industrial exposure. I was there about 5 years. While staying there, I started my own company, proofreading by UK PhD on a very small scale. And then it exploded. Okay, over the years it exploded. And currently I'm the chief editor and founder full-time. And also an adjunct lecturer at UTP. I have grants in excess of about 5 million USD I've accumulated over the years. This is my experience in terms of research. 60 plus publications, 3 US patents, more than 8, and now I think got more than 70 publications, and more than 8 standards that have contributed throughout the world. I was also a consultant in Georgia Tech Industrial Advisory Board in Atlanta, 6 different awards, and I think now probably more than 9 or 10 dozens of invited talks already. Okay, so this is us, our organization based in Cyberjaya, proofreading by UK PhD. We are the only ISO 9001 certified academic consulting firm. We are also recognized and endorsed by CFEP from the UK and also HRDF from Malaysian Human Resource Ministry. This is our global presence at the moment, where we are now in terms of services that we provide in about 34 different countries. And we also work very closely in terms of official proof leadership and also MOU with the following institutions. So today's class is not only about my personal experience that I'm going to share with you. It's the accumulated cumulative experience from 24,000 of our clients that have completed whether publication, whether thesis, whether proofreading, whether paraphrasing, whether just consulting, many different aspects, even grants also. So today's class, we're going to focus on thesis, mostly proposal, I would say thesis and proposal. We'll touch a bit on publication because most of it will come in class number 3. A bit on thesis to journal conversion, very important so that you can get started also now itself. And then language part, the language aspect of PhD as well, or research itself. Okay, so as usual, I need 100% participation. My first advice to you is keep your phone very far away. That's the biggest distractor. Keep your phone very far away. Stop doing whatever else that you're doing, whether you're writing, you're reading, you're in a meeting, whatever. Please, keep yourself available here, 100%. And I want keyboard warrior. So please respond to me and please ask questions when I'm teaching so that you can also learn as much as I'm trying to teach you. Okay? So, how many of you here have actually joined my Facebook live class before or have actually joined my classes last year with Oopsie? Please kindly comment in the chat box how many of you never joined before, never joined any of my Facebook classes before, any of Oopsie's classes before with me. Okay, so you have Zoana, never. Anyone else never joined before? Okay, thank you, Aniza. Why I want to know so that I can show you where to go and find all these free classes that has actually helped. I would say the recent reach is 437,000 people accumulatively, the whole page. So that's the amount of people are watching individual videos. Okay, so okay, that's very good. So we have a lot of first timers today. So let me show you where to go and find all these videos. Okay, let me also show where is our Facebook page. This is our Facebook page. I know people are sort of not really using Facebook. Some of them at least, they are against social media, which I really respect. My advice to you is if you don't have a Facebook profile, just go and register one. Don't use it for anything. Don't have a profile photo. Don't have anything. It's totally fine. At least you can go and watch all my videos. All my videos that I'm teaching. Every month, I think I'll have at least 2 to 3 classes. Some months I won't have if I'm very, very busy. Okay, so this is what we actually publish on our Facebook page on daily basis. We have a lot of information, a lot of notes. Okay, a lot of very, very important notes as well. How to write research proposal. These entire notes, everything will be here. Everything, our publication as well, you can find. So research proposal, another one, very important deck of slides. I also share a lot of templates. These templates normally I will design according to the requirement of students, and then I'll publish it free on Telegram. So you can use it. Like for some of you who wants to do pilot study, you don't know what is the process, this is the template to follow. This is what you need to do. 6 simple steps. Okay, similar to this, I have many templates on my Telegram group. I'll talk about it shortly. So where to find the video classes? Okay, before finding the video classes, we also need to understand how can you be notified whenever I go Facebook Live? How will you know? Because Facebook won't tell you. Facebook won't tell my followers. If Facebook tell all my followers, I'll have at least 60, 70,000 views every day when I go live. Every time I go live, not every day, every time I go live. But that is not the case because Facebook will never tell. So you must have the interest to come actually follow us, select us as favorites so that you will know when I publish new event and when I go live. So that's very simple. This is my Facebook page link. I've shared in the chat box. So take 1 minute, click the link. I'll tell you what to do. So once you have arrived into my Facebook page, you can click the follow button here. There's a follow button here. Click that follow button and then re-click it again. That follow button, click again. Select favorites. If you select favorites, then whenever This is what I heard from people who even selected favorites. Even them, sometimes Facebook won't show that I'm going live. That is how cheeky Facebook is becoming. Very, very bad, very poor. Okay, so once you have done that, then you can click videos here. So this one, the class I'm going to teach you today, I've done it on Facebook Live also. It's the most popular class now. And then if you scroll down further, you can see free writing tutorials by Dr. Tawa, 124 classes. So you click see all, you can see all my classes here. So questionnaire instrument design, research proposal writing for PhD and masters, thesis strategies for minor correction, research gap and a new topic exploration, PhD master's time planning for 2023, and so on and so forth. So there are many different classes here. You can have a look if you want to understand further. Even problem statement writing here. Chapter 1, background writing, scoping review, theoretical framework, paraphrasing, conceptual framework design, best tips for PhD thesis, systematic literature review, so on and so forth. So whoever is free and wants to go and class for today, not comprehensively. So the classes that I put on Facebook Live are usually about 1 hour only. But the one I conduct directly, very good question, Kathleen. The one that I put, the one that I teach in universities, for example, UPSI, yesterday was UMS, the day before was USM. USM, yeah, it was USM. So, was it USM? No, UMK, sorry, UMK. Last week was USM. So the classes I give in university, you cannot see the full version on Facebook Live. That's how it works. Okay, so universities always get the most exclusive version of the class. Okay. So if you want to go and watch the classes, I'll tell you how to find the link. So before we go to that link, you can also understand. You can also. I would also like to share with you that. One is not muted. Host, can you mute everyone, please? Who is that? Kami WhatsApp Puan Kila,
I couldn't mute this one participant. But
Oh, okay. So I also don't know which participant is that because it's not showing here. Is there option for you to mute all? Ada tak?
ada, but it won't allow me to click the mute button.
Okay. Okay, now I think it's okay already. Okay. Thank you, Puan Kila. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue. So those are the Facebook video classes that you can go and watch. These are important resources that I'm sharing with all the participants. You can also download all my free templates from my Telegram group. Okay, so this is literature search databases that we have designed so that you know where to go and find for literature review. We'll be looking at this today. Critical literature review template. So when you read a paper, how to actually read a paper. This won't be today's class, but you can also have a look at this if you want to. So at least you know how to do critical literature review. Today, we'll be using this template, literature summary template. Okay, and then we also got literature matrix template, literature review and background writing, all the statistical data, all the links where to go and find statistics. Problem statement template, very, very crucial, very important one. Systematic literature review template, and so on and so forth. Got abstract, table of content, theoretical framework. And then we have few more new ones, proposal defense, Viva questions. This one, when we coach students, when we coach them before they go for proposal defense or Viva, when they come back, we'll normally ask them what are the questions they actually asked you. And based on that, we have already listed some of it here. Not all of it. We couldn't manage to get all of it because every subject is different. But some of the important ones are here. And then full thesis table of content is here. How if you want to design a full thesis before you see a supervisor, you don't know what to have in your content. This is a very good example for you. And also databases hierarchy. So which literature databases to use? We'll be looking at this today as well. Okay, so where to go and get all these and all these Facebook live classes? Very simple. I'll give you my ultimate link. I call the ultimate link lah because everything is already there under one link. Last year classes all I had to give separate links, was very troublesome. So I started using this. Okay, link tree. So let me share. Aniza, you can actually go and download from the Telegram group itself. So I'll show you how. So these are all the these are completed live classes already. Just now you could see in the playlist. These are upcoming classes. Writing review paper is the new one. Choosing theoretical framework is a new one. Okay, so the link is given in the chat box. Please click that. Okay, click that. I'll show you how to go and download the templates. Okay, once you have already arrived here, make sure you subscribe yourself. There's a bell button here, right? You can subscribe yourself, so when the new thing happen, you can also be notified from here. So don't forget to do that. And then here, you can request thesis general templates here. We will email to you when we have all the quorums collected. Then you can also join Facebook group. Telegram group is here. So you click this button, you will go straight to the biggest academic Telegram group in the world. There is no such size group specifically for academia. So 97 members. I don't need to join. I'm already there. So so once you go here, wait, it's opening now. Where is my, okay, it's here. So here, okay, so there you go. I don't know, this is all unnecessary posts. Okay, so you can join here directly. This is also a very good space for you to find respondents. Especially for education area, when you want to find respondents, you cannot find the necessary respondents, maybe some school members, some school teachers, some principals, or any respondents that you want to find, you may be able to access them here. So you can check in the group. All right. And we also share a lot of resources here. Like you see on daily basis, the resources here. And how to look for templates? Very simple. Click search button here and then type template. So once you type template, you see this is the latest one released, pilot study template. I haven't even put into my slides yet. Don't have the time yet. And rest of the templates, you can find it here. So all of it are here. You can download it from here. Okay, so if you have trouble joining, let me know. And all other resources can be downloaded here. Time to time, I also will share all the PowerPoint notes. Okay, PowerPoint notes, you can find it here. The ones that we share on Facebook. Oops. So what I have shared, it's very simple for you to find out. Click this pinned message. If you click this, you can see all the notes that we have shared. So example, all recent PowerPoint slides. So you can see all the PowerPoint slides here. Okay, so I am not stingy in terms of knowledge. I even give you the whole PowerPoint slide. So it's up to you whether you want to download and go through it or not. So it's totally up to you. And if you have any questions you want to share your questionnaire and so on, feel free to post it here. Okay, it's not a channel. People who wants to market, they'll create Telegram channel. In our case, this is a Telegram group. So feel free to discuss and chat and ask for questions if you want to ask. And all the templates are here. You can even find sample thesis here. For those who want to look at sample thesis, how to write, you can also find it here. This is like a resource center. Why I don't create WhatsApp group? Sebab WhatsApp group, all the files will expire. That's the problem with WhatsApp group. Although now you can create super group, but the file will expire. Like Telegram, some of the templates I shared last year, 2 years ago, you can still open. That's the beauty of Telegram. Okay. So feel free to come and join. If you still cannot find a way to join, let me know. You can also follow us on TikTok and YouTube. TikTok will start having new videos very, very soon. So everything else is here. And make sure that you register for upcoming classes here. And all the services that we provide are also here. Okay. So thank you very much. Let's get started for the actual agenda. All the resources are shared, so you know where the video classes now, you know where the templates are. You're already part of Telegram group. You know where's my Facebook group, my Facebook page, all the video classes. So we are settled there. So now let's look at the exclusive part of today's class. First of all, we are going to explore topic selection and scouting via analytical idea mining. For the first time, we're exploring analytical idea mining. Okay, how to use data analytics to come up with topic, or no, to at least analyze a topic, whether it's a credible topic or not. Then we're going to look at all about research gaps, literature databases, hands-on paper crunching, from proposal pathways to publication. These are also very important for students and supervisors. I believe we have a couple of supervisors joined today, so this will be very important for them as well. Okay, so this one I've asked already. Okay, don't need to answer this. Now, I would like to get to know all of you, so at least I know what subject areas we have today. So a bit of ice breaking. Kindly please share your name, whether you're doing PhD or master's or even bachelor's degree, and then what is your subject area. So all of you, I think so, excluding me, 65 of you, please kindly share your name, PhD, master, or supervisor, if you have supervisor, and what is your subject area. So based on that, I can generalize the class according to that. So if it's very one-sided, then I won't generalize so much. So kindly please share. So take about 2 minutes. I'll wait for everyone to share. Chemical education. So we have Dr. Charanjit, supervisor. Thanks for joining today. Shamila, Wani, I think both of them are students. Master Chemical Education. Taxation, TESOL, Leadership, Administration, Leadership. STEM Education, Biology Education, very interesting. Masters in AI. Okay. Occasional Computer Interaction, Biomedical. Dr. Yusuf, thank you for joining as well. Malaysian Studies, nice, interesting. Administration, Masters in Science, Physics, TESOL, coaching, nice. Okay. Dyslexia study area, okay. Leadership, I think dyslexia is a very, very useful topic. I wish you all the best in that. Leadership, education, I think all topics are important, of course. Education psychology, and then dyslexia is it's a very hot problem now, given all the screen time and so on, right? Autism and so on. So yeah, I think it's a very, very hot topic at the moment. Yeah, my wife is in pediatrics as well. She's a specialist in HKL, so that's why I know about this area quite well. Dyslexia, finance, okay. Anyone else? So we have TID for cycling. Oh, TID for cycling, okay. We have educational technology. So a lot of education, obviously, oopsie, but we also have a bit of out of education as well. So very interesting, okay. TESOL, we have one more. Dr. Mazrin, thanks for joining. Right, okay. So Malaysian Studies, okay. Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for taking your time to respond. So at least we know that the class is technically and also social science driven. So I will try to generalize as much as possible. Okay, how to select a topic? Okay, this is very important. How to select a topic? First of all, for those especially fresh masters and PhD students, or also for those who are, even for supervisors who are trying to explore new area, who are also trying to write new kind of papers, maybe review papers or new topic altogether, because at certain point in time, we will try to explore new topics, get new kind of PhD students and so on, right? Because that's how you can accumulate citations over time. So how to come up with that topic? First of all, excuse me, is it a topic of interest or not? That's very, very important. We can't force ourselves to spend majority of our time doing something that we don't have interest. That's going to be very tough. All right. And then the next important parameter is whether it's relatable to one situation or not. Like most of you are doing PhD, that is related to your work life, teacher, education, school, especially in UPSI. UPSI is very much relatable to one situation. So we basically work on those issues. Fantastic. So But also another aspect of it, sometimes not all topics of your interest or not all topic interest is fine, but relatable to your situation, your surrounding can be a PhD. Sometimes it can't be because if there is no literature, there is no necessary support in terms of background, what people had done over the years, especially in education, social science area, and so on, establishing a new problem would be tough. Not impossible, but would be tough because you will need to fight a lot of battle to be able to convince people that's actually a problem. So if you're prepared for that, go ahead. If you're not prepared for that, then try to go something that already has a lot of literature to support that there's actually actual problem going on. So that's where analytical idea mining will come in today. Okay, so from this point, if it is a yes, okay, and the next question you should ask is, does it fulfill your goals or not? Okay, does it meet your goals or not? If from here, from this question, let's say if you don't have a topic that is, within your interest or relatable to your one situation, then you need to put a hard pause and decide again what is your focus area. Okay, what would be your focus area? You need to redefine your focus. Okay, so let's say if you're already here, the topic is fine, good to go. Next thing you need to ask question is, if it is a yes, if it fulfills your objective and goals, what you want to achieve end of the day. Like I said, you must have an interest or it must be something related to your situation that you want to study. You are curious enough. See, PhD, as much as it's about getting a PhD, all right, as much as it's about getting a PhD, it must also answer certain questions you have in your mind. Okay, if you don't have a question in your mind that you want to find answer, the journey of your PhD would be, or masters would be very tough because there is no purpose. Your own soul is not asking that question, so your own soul must ask that question. You want to find this answer. Okay, that's why you're doing that PhD, right? So if it fulfills the specific goals, yes, then next thing you need to investigate whether it's unique and novel or not. Okay, and also define whether it's different from current studies or not. This one is a very important definition, which I will explain further in the next slide. Let's say if it doesn't fulfill your goal, okay, it doesn't actually, after you do all the detailed study, you write down the proposal and so on, you're like, this is not what I want to do. This is not something that I know I'm very interested in. Okay, then deep dive. Deep dive to find a different kind of gap. One study can be split into different angles, different things you can do. Okay, I still consult a lot of teachers, not only from UPSI, from UM. UM also have a lot of educational PhD, a lot of them. UPM also has that. UTM also have a lot of teachers there, but mostly I think from UM or UPSI, most of them. So we always look at different angles. Okay, curriculum, you look at leadership, we look at principles, we look at students, we look at teaching evaluation, we look at teaching techniques. Many different educational psychology is one more thing, technology is one more thing, delivery is one more thing. So there are so many angles we can look at. Just giving an example, subject-wise also you can look at, and so on and so forth. So, is there any other angle that you can look at? So that is another way that you can, explore your topic if it's not fulfilling your goals. Let's say you're already here, okay, and you actually found out it's actually no unique and novel. It's actually kind of different, even if it's not 100% novel. At least if it's different from the current studies, then okay, you're good to go. There's opportunity for a new contribution. Let's say you still cannot find that aging, like that gap is still very cluttered, okay, very cluttered, like it doesn't actually give me a gap. I don't know what I'm doing. There's actually no gap. My supervisor keep telling me there's no gap, there is no gap, there is no gap. It happens, it happens. Okay, it happens. So you need to find out whether that area is overexploited or not. One of the most common area for overexploitation, education is kind of overexploited in certain areas. Another very much overexploited area. Overexploited is not bad. Overexploited means a lot of people is interested. A lot of people are interested in improving that segment of our life. It's not a bad thing. It's just a lot of people are interested to carry out research in that area because it's a very, very vital, very, very fundamentally important element for a human being. Okay, so therefore it becomes overexploited. Overexploited means, let's say you have a bucket of water, but you have a lot of cups taking water, many thousands cups, thousands of cups come into one pail, and you only get like very small. Sometimes you won't even get any bit of water from that. Comparatively to a topic where you get the same full pail of water, but only like 3 people doing research in that area. One of those areas can be geography. Geography is very rarely people do the PhD. I think in my entire life of doing this, I think for the past 10 years now, 11 years, I've only seen 2 people doing PhD in geography. Okay, so that is one of the areas that I always remember. Physics, particle physics is a very rare. People do research, especially in Malaysia. So those kind of things you can easily find gaps because not many people exploiting it. So then when that happens, you cannot find a research gap. That is where you need to apply creative thinking. Okay, creative thinking. What is creative thinking? I will explain in the next few slides. The topic will come up. Okay, I'll explain to you how to actually apply creative thinking. It's no more critical thinking. It's creative thinking. So when there is opportunity for new contribution, you know it's very clear. Start your engine, get it moving. Start writing your 10 pages proposal first. Let's see if you're in this area, in this segment. Add a new research angle on futuristic perspectives as a function of time, physical, cultural situation, either of it or a combination of few. So now, how do we scout for topic? So how do we know that this topic is new, this topic is good, this topic, can be done and so on? These are the steps. So firstly, pick a topic, obviously, or questions that you badly want to find an answer. That you really, it's digging your brains every day. Like, what happens? What can we do about this? Those kind of things. So the first point of exploration is always Google Scholar, at least for most of us. Okay, for most of us. It is awesome, but there is also some unsaid, unrevealed problems with Google Scholar that many don't know. Okay, that many don't know. There's a systematic review when you do, especially when you do systematic review, they don't include Google Scholar nowadays. If you realize, okay, so only some superstars will include, but not necessarily. You don't need to include. Has its limitations. What are those? Google Scholar will give you all the journals. That means including Web of Science Index, Scopus Index, ERA Index, Myra Index, non-index, scam journals, predatory journals, all of it. So if you are a student, okay, supervisors, I know they are already very experienced, but let's say if you're a new student going into Google Scholar, you start reading, you start choosing journal that very easily you can understand. Very easily you can, find, hey, this is a very trivial problem. I can start working on this. But that journal, if it is a predatory journal, and that is a journal that you're using for your basement, your base to establish a problem, you're going to have a lot of issues later. Okay, because if you have an examiner or supervisor who is very critical of the kind of papers that you read, they require you to look at Scopus papers, good, well indexed, well high impact papers, then you're going to have a trouble. I'm not against non-indexed journals because most journals come into the picture by not indexing yet. That is totally fine. But I'm against predatory journals where they claim they are indexed in Web of Science, but they are eventually not indexed in Web of Science. They are lying. Got many journals like that. Okay, when you see impact factor, they state very big impact factor. Always go and counter check in Web of Science. Usually, very well known journals like Elsevier, Taylor Francis, MDPI, Frontiers, all these kind of journals. They're usually okay. They don't lie. Okay, it's because it's huge businesses. But there are journals coming out of very skeptical countries, very skeptical publishers like you never heard before. And then they say impact factor 7, impact factor 8, impact factor 5. Those you really need to go and check. Some people will show labeling of Scopus on their website. Go to simagogr.com or go to scopus.com. Check if those journals are Scopus or not. Because a lot of predatory journals, this is one of the biggest white collar crimes of our time. Okay, because they exploit the limited knowledge of students who don't know about these things. So you also tend to publish in those journals, and then end up when you submit your graduate school, when they quantify or when they evaluate the journal, they say this is not Scopus. You'll be like, I already paid $1,000 to publish this paper. They already reviewed and published already, but they are not Scopus. But they already claim that they are Scopus. That's another problem also. So that is the problem by using Google Scholar. I use Google Scholar, okay, because I know exactly what kind of journals I should look at. But if you don't know, always when you go to Google Scholar, after you search, check the quality of every journal. You can go to scopus.com and check. You can go to webofscience.com and check as well. I'll show you Web of Science today. Okay, sorry, you can check in JCR. JCR is also, Clarivate has Web of Science as JCR also. JCR means Journal Citation Ranking. It will show you the journal's quality. Okay, how about if I want to cite or I want to read a paper that is not indexed but very important? Also got, we like example, we are the official editors of Journal of Economics and Business from UMK. They are not indexed yet, but we've been editing the journal for the past 3 years now, almost 4 years already. We are doing it every year. Okay, two issues per year. Okay, 2 issues per year. They will publish in May and then they'll publish in December. So those kind of journals, they are free, yet they are open access. They are free, yeah, and they don't claim that they are Scopus or Web of Science yet because they are not. And they pay for the public, for the authors to go and proofread. The journal actually sponsors. They pay us, they ask us to edit the papers. So those are kind of journals that you can read because they are very careful of the papers they review. They are very careful of the papers and they don't charge the authors. And also they spend for the authors. Those are the kind of journals that you can actually trust. You can even publish in those journals if you want to, because those will be Scopus very soon. Okay, so that is very important for you to evaluate yourself. You need to spend that time to understand. Don't ever cite a predatory journal because that will cost you. If your examiners are not that meticulous, they don't like go through all the references, then you can escape. But most of them, they do. They will check the references very carefully. They'll be like, what references use, especially in your literature review, in your discussion, in your problem statement, and so on. What references did you use? New or not new, that is another matter. But whether they are qualified journal or not. Okay. Next thing, you need to choose the appropriate keywords and related terms when you search. This is very, very, very important. Okay, and for those who want to search journals via Web of Science and Scopus, you can go and watch my free videos. Okay, and I also already teach in these two videos. I have taught how to build search string. Okay, search string. So you can find the videos here. So if you go here, you click this link here. For those who don't have this link, here's the link again to all of you. So here you can check out Web of Science Scopus. Here you go. Literature review with Web of Science, literature review with Scopus. Both are about 1 hour class lah. So you go through that, you will understand how to use the databases effectively and efficiently. You need to be very efficient when you go search literature, because otherwise you're going to waste majority of your time just searching for literature. End up you're not getting the right papers. Okay. Then number 4, look for problems within the limitation of study, future study, or assumption taken in research papers, thesis, and so on. This is the easiest way out for you to find new studies, new research gaps, and so on. Okay, so therefore, supervisors, whoever have attended here, put a lot of effort in discussing with your student when they are writing their limitation of study, future study, and so on. These are the places where you can create the immediate next ideas for your PhD student. This is what my supervisors used to do in the UK as well. Okay, this is how they normally practice. And for all PhD students, if you want to, or master student, if you want to find new topic to publish, new topic to explore in your studies, go and look at these spaces. Okay. Sorry doktor, macam mana tahu semak paper bahasa Melayu? Okay, semak paper bahasa Melayu tu is a bit tough. Yang tu susah sikit. Usually, honestly, I've never searched for BM papers before. Tak pernah. But I would always advise you to, but most of you might be writing thesis in BM kan? So when you write thesis in BM, still get your literature in from English published publication. Because kalau setakat BM, I don't know the publishers. I think Indonesia might have some, I think Malaysia has some. And you'll have very limited literature. That's another problem. You have very limited literature because not many publish in BM. So you won't get the essential ideas, the essential problem statement, the essential discussion of results. So I always advise you to go and check for English published papers so you get more options, especially when you do literature review. But those English content, later boleh translate lah. You translate terus and then terus guna je lah. That is one way to go lah. Okay. All right. So that's number 4. And then number 5, read review papers. Yang ni paling penting. Read review papers. Go for systematic review paper, scoping review paper, narrative review paper, conceptual review paper, integrative review paper, bibliography review paper. These are all the kind of review papers that you can read to analyze new research gaps. Normally they will share, okay? And go for the latest 3 years papers. Finally, only read empirical papers. Unless you find your topic, there is actually not much of a point for you to read empirical papers, because usually when you read empirical papers, you will only read for the results, what is actually happening in terms of results. Okay, not for idea, of course you can study, but most of the ideas you can actually get from future work, limitation, review papers, all these places. Empirical papers sometimes will give you future work. Do check it out. But mostly empirical papers, you have to focus on the results. Finally, triangulate the information you synthesize from steps 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. You need to triangulate all this, put all the information together to formulate a credible problem and research gap. Okay? So, just now I explained about creative reading, okay, creative thinking, or creative observation. So, if you remember this part here, creative thinking. So, how to actually make use of that creative thinking? So, I'm going to give you an example now. Let's take a topic on retention and development of Generation Y employees. Okay, retention and development of Generation Y employees. This is a very, very important and present problem that most of us are facing, especially new businesses, organizations, corporates. They're finding it hard. This is research saying, research basically studying, talking about this. Very hard to keep Gen Y employees because they are very unstable. They tend to, jump, 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 jump. That's why you see we might have some Gen Y people today, no offense to you, but this is what research is saying, not me. They jump. So if you look at CVs, I'm doing this research myself, okay, just for my own understanding. And also when I look at CVs, new CVs, I look at experimentals, I look at CVs, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 8 months, they jump, 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 jump. When compared to baby boomers or our probably 30s, 40s and above, they usually stay, 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just looking at the impact of it. So retention and development. So how to actually retain them? So the objective of the study is to propose new methods for employers to retain Generation Y employees from jumping jobs, to propose talent management techniques to develop Generation Y employees. So these are the two. Yes, Shafiq, happens to me as well. My organization also, all the time. Okay, so I can understand, and it's not a small problem. It's a massive problem for most of the organizations. Okay, because the trend is starting off, this off the topic, like the trend is starting off TikTok Live, YouTube, they're making money off it, Shopee and all these things, but they don't understand. At one point, once the current employers becomes old, who will become employers? If there is no more employers, then what will happen to platform like Shopee, like YouTube, like TikTok? Who is going to manage it? Who is going to develop it? So that is a big question mark lah. So that is what I'm trying to research into. So, so here they're talking about Generation Y employees, they're talking about talent management for Generation Y employees. This is a very easy topic to understand. So I choose this topic as a idea generator for creative observation. So these are our creative observations. Creative observations, analytical idea mining. Okay, analytical idea mining. So this is the first time I'm going to share with you how to do analytical idea mining. So this is a topic I've put at the side here just to refresh what you have just spoke, retention and development. So I have CO1, creative observation 1 to all the way 5, but we're only going to look at 1. All this we'll look at next class, second class. So today I'm going to look at a different angle. So let's say many people are talking about this already. They all looking at one angle, how to keep Generation Y only. They want to solve that problem. But at a glance, when I look at this, so many studies already talk about retention development. What else for me there to explore? Let's say I want to do PhD now. What is there? What else there for me to explore? I don't know. I go look at retention. I use different theory. Nothing much. I use different variables, maybe. But still like, overexploited. So I want to look at it differently, creatively. What would be the impact on organization or employers by giving special care to Gen Y? So that means literally I'm asking, since organization is giving all this effort, planning on how to retain them, because they don't have this headache last time. Previous employees, they don't have this. This is something new. A new problem is emerging now, and it's only going to get worse with the next generation and so on. So, what would be the impact on the organization itself by giving all this special care to Gen Y? So, I formed a keyword. This is truly research purpose. Okay, I formed a keyword. Okay, search string. This is what we call search string. So uh, some of you might not know what is a search string. So I'm going to explain to you on search string today, which is very crucial thing for you to know. Nothing will happen if you don't use search string. Your life will still go on, just that you'll waste more time. Okay, search string actually reduces the time waste in a way. Because if let's say example, okay, before we get to that, this is the keywords. These are all keywords: organizational impact, generation Y, millennials. And then this whole thing is known as search. My handwriting very poor. Sorry. Search string. Okay, this whole thing is called a search string. This whole thing yang barisan ni, this whole thing is known as search string. Yang ni keyword, yang ni keyword, yang ini pun keyword. Okay. My question is very simple. What is this? I want all of you to answer. What is this? If you don't know, say don't know. Totally okay, don't worry. There are only few supervisors here, but if your supervisor is here, then I'm very sorry. But if your supervisor is not here, you can answer. If you say don't know, just say don't know. It's totally okay to say don't know. Okay? So you got Dr. Charan who answered. Anyone else who wants to give me idea what is N and O here? Do anyone else know what is this? Or you don't know, you can say don't know. Thank you very much, Faiza, for being honest. I want all of you to participate, so please answer. Okay, stop doing anything else that you're doing. Okay. Right, word for searching, maybe diversification in searching, all right. The reason that I want you to answer is to understand the level of understanding that you guys have so that I can go deep into it. That's the whole purpose. And also online class, you need to have interaction. Otherwise, it's going to be very boring. Okay, so Dr. Yusuf, have both or either one, all right. So you have Boolean, I don't know, okay, totally okay. Okay, so I think few of you said Boolean, which is correct. Then we have few of them saying diversification of searching. It's a different way to search. Okay. Then Dr. Yusuf said have both, either one or fantastic. That's the function of it. Okay, that's the function of it. Thank you very much. Search about organizational impact and either Gen Y or millennial. Very good, Asma. So that's the whole purpose of it. So basically, there are three Boolean operators: and, not, or. These three that you can use. Right? What happens if you don't use this? Have any of you thought what happens if I don't use this? Very simple. If you don't use, very simple. If you take this out, not this. If you take this flag out, no more there. You can search this whole thing. You can search. All right. You will get 3 to 4 times of the results that you're supposed to get. That means, let's say you get 3,000 papers. If you remove this, you will get 12 to 15,000 papers. Why? Because if it is there, then the paper output will be only papers that have the keywords of organizational impact or organization with Gen Y. Okay. And it will also give out papers, organizational impact with millennials. Only these two, these two pairing, all right? That it'll give you all the paired keywords. Now, if you don't have it, it will give you all the papers that only said organizational impact. It will give you all the papers that only talks about Generation Y. It will give you all the papers that only talks about millennials, which won't be related at all. Generation Y will be something else, not organization. Millennials will be something else. You know, how they think, how they feel about TikTok, and so on and so forth. You know, that could be a different angle. Then organizational impact will be talking about general organizational impact, might not even relate to Generation Y, might be about something else altogether. COVID, what happened to organization, blah, blah, blah. Not relevant to us anymore. So then it will give you the output of organizational impact with Generation Y. Then it will give you output of organizational impact with millennials. Then it will also give you all three. So it will give you one output, two output, three output, four output, five output, and six outputs. Six different combination, or probably more, because here there are two words. It will give organization also, it will give impact also, it will give Generation Y also, it will give just Y also. You know, so many different combination. But when you put them together like this in a search string, okay, it will give you only a couple of selections. It will give you this and this. It will give you this and this. It might give you this and this, or just organization alone. It will give you with Generation Y, which is still fine. Okay, which is still fine. So you will reduce your papers. So you tend to waste little time when you do for search. Okay, when you do search, you tend to not, still a lot of papers, but compared to 12,000, 3,000 is way better. That is where you don't waste a lot of time. And that is where you get to the point that you want to be. So let me show you an example. Yeah. So before I continue, all of you understand, right? For those who don't know, okay, I think the rest who knows won't be a problem. For those who don't know, can you guys understand my explanation of search string? This is very important. If you don't understand this, then you're going to have a lot of, not trouble, you'll be wasting your time, just literally wasting your time. Only got 3 years, and you don't want to waste any of that time, right? So, okay, very good. So, anyone else still be confused, please let me know. I'll explain again. Okay, if no, we shall continue. Okay, this is Web of Science Clarivate Search. I don't know whether there's subscription in UPSI or not. Most universities have, and most universities won't have. In Malaysia, it's mixed. So, do you have access to Web of Science Clarivate in UPSI? No, okay. If you don't have, there is another solution. Don't worry. Most of the universities, even UPM, I think UMP, all these don't have. The only ones that have will be UTM, UKM. I'm teaching all that, so I know they have UTM, UKM, UM, UTP. As far as I know, these four, USM. USM has it also. Okay, so USM, UPM don't have, USM, UKM, UTM, UM, UTP. These five have. Why I'm sharing this with you, in case if you want to search, you can contact their library, or you can contact any of your friends there. You can probably find them on my Telegram group. You know, find a way to, you don't get all the resources all the time. We have to be fair, because it's super expensive, not cheap. This thing is not cheap. All right. So if you have friends, if you have connections, you can, slow talk, give the search string, search for me, give me all the output and so on. It will be easy for you, because they can just download the search result and give you, and then you can go and find the papers. They can do that also. So it's up to you how you want to maneuver, how you want to manage. So coming back to this is very important, because the difference between Web of Science and Scopus, I think Scopus you definitely have, right? So Web of Science, Scopus, Web of Science is like Ferrari. Okay, all the top-notch literature will be there. Not saying that Scopus won't be there. Scopus is like BMW, still top-notch, but you tend to have the lowest model of BMW to the highest model of BMW, but still better than ERA and better than non-index journal. Scopus is still very good quality. Okay, but comparatively to Web of Science is like Ferrari. So we want both, right? We want Ferrari and we also want BMW. Why? Ferrari you cannot take to town. Okay, BMW you can use in town. Ferrari is for exclusive ride, so you need both. If you can afford it, you have both. So Web of Science, there is a way for you to access, go and access it. This is where you'll find top impact papers, 20 impact factor, 30 impact factor, 15 impact factor. Those are the cream of the crop, which you'll find here, and most likely you'll find in Scopus as well. But there are some journals that are exclusively only indexed in Web of Science, which you won't find in Scopus. At the same time, there are also some journals in Scopus that you won't find in Web of Science. That is why you need to search in both. You never search in Google Scholar also, never mind. But Web of Science and Scopus, you must search for literature. It really makes a lot of difference. Okay? So, let's do a simple search. Topic, we select organizational impact, and then we add row. The boolean here is N or not. We select N, and then here we add Gen Y, and then we add one more. We put O, and then we put here millennials. I don't add any date range. I don't want to know, okay? Because I want to see the whole horizon of the research. Because why? Currently, I'm doing analytical idea mining. This is what I call analytical idea mining. I don't have an abbreviation for that yet. It's called AI AIM lah. AIM, okay, AIM. So I'm looking for AIM now. So I've already done the search. I have 3,000 results. Okay, even this also, the research thing got 3,000 results already. So let's look at the papers that we get. Adaptive use of social networking application in contemporary organizations, examining motivation of Gen Y cohorts. Okay, organizational learning and Gen Y employees. Definitely, yes. Managing millennials, yes. That's why I use all. You see, this guy never use Gen Y also, but they are the same. Gen Y and millennials are the same. Effect of work fulfillment, job characteristics, Gen Y employees, definitely. Understanding future leaders, absolutely. All related. Effect of employee voice and dealer and job satisfaction, definitely. Incorporating ethics strategy management regards to generation-wise view of ethics, yes, absolutely. Development retention of generation Y employees. Generation X and Y, Gen Y women managers. So all are related papers. That's why search string is very important. So we only look at the related papers only. Then we click analyze results. This is where you get your idea mining. So here you got few aspects of data analytics you can download. Scopus has the same thing also. You can do that in scopus.com. I think in my Facebook live class, I would have explained. My last year class, the UPSI, I already explained already. Okay, I already explained, but that was more comprehensive, what I explained in UPSI last year. Okay, so from here we choose publication, yes. Okay, we choose this, we get a very nice histogram. So what is this? Number of papers published versus years. Okay, I need all of you, stop doing what you're doing. Look at this graph, this way. Look at this graph up here, all right? Tell me what is your observation. What do you understand from this graph? No, this way, from this graph. I want to hear from all of you. I just want to see your opinion. It's okay if you're wrong. Or probably there's no right and wrong. It's only observation, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Anyone else? Okay. Look at the years carefully. Look at the years carefully. Increasing, but look at the years carefully. Okay. So what you must understand from here is the research first started in 2013. Okay. So since then, the problems already being prominent lah. Okay. Very good, Nurul. Decreasing by year. Okay. That's a very different observation, which is also true. It's not exactly increasing over the years. Okay. So don't get deceived by looking at the pattern. Always look at the axis as well. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 all had exponential increase. So exponential means like that. So it goes. So after this, also good. So exponential pump, 2022. But this is 2022. It's not exactly 2019. So 2019 is here. So from here, we look at the gradient gap. So it's good. The gap is good. So this is 2019. This is 2018. So from here, it's also, so that means the curve is going like that and then like that. Okay, so it's increasing. Fine. But 2020, 2021, and 2022, it dropped. My first question to you is, Why 2020 and 2021 dropped? Why do you think? What could be the reason? Exactly. Okay. So pandemic. So it's not exactly. So when you do your own analytical idea mining, don't get deceived by, 2020, 21, no one doing research study lah. This topic we have to drop. Actually, if you look at most research topics, you'll have this problem. That's why I wanted to share this with you. Because of pandemic. Yet, even though pandemic, people still published a lot. Considerably good. Although the whole world locked down. If they never lock down, this would be probably somewhere up there. Okay, these two. Very, very up at the above there. Okay. Because looking at the space gradient here, I would say at least 20-30% increase. So from here, 20-30% increase will be somewhere here. And then another 20-30% will be somewhere up there. But then your next question will be, why 2022 never increase? Because whole world open up already. What? There could be few factors also. You have to interpret your results. This is how you interpret your results. 2022 was the year that we opened up. Yes, but you have to understand we are still in 2023. March, early March, very much early March. That means the papers that were accepted in most likely some journals in September, most journals in October, November, December, probably only accepting. Okay, some of them not accepting yet. Okay, yet. Some of them accepted, not published yet, still early access. Okay, called something called early access. Huh? And when early access comes in, they are probably not indexed in Web of Science yet. So that's why this is still very low. Check again, end of this year, this would be increased quite significantly. All right. So probably some of the papers in submitted last year, August, September, October, November, December are still under review because some journals take 6-7 months to review and then revision and then review and then revision. But the journal will still go back to the date 2022. Okay, because first submitted. All right. So some journals will consider this year, some journals will consider last year. All right. So that is the difference. That's why here there is still a kind of drop here. But actually, this is a very hot topic because if you think of it logically, how come 2018 is a prominent problem, 2019 prominent problem, and then suddenly 2020, 2021, all the Gen Y changed the day? Is it? Of course not. They never change. Just that all of them become quiet. All the researchers. Okay, because of lockdown, because some journals are still under review. So wait until the end of the year, you'll get a full result for 2022. But as of now, this topic is a very, very, very valid topic. So this is how you can do analytics. So when a supervisor asks you, this research gap, are you sure this is good? Are you sure this is giving you the right, is this a hot topic now? Yes, go and get this, show to your supervisor. It is a hot topic. We should explore this. This is a good area to explore. Many people are working into this. Okay? So that's what you do. Now let's go to all about research gaps. So far, we've already covered topic exploration. Now from topic exploration, we need to know while exploring topics, research gaps. Okay, research gaps. What kind of research gaps to look for? Okay, so we have evidence gap, we have empirical gap, we have knowledge gap, we have methodological gap, we have theoretical gap, we have population gap. But how do we interpret these gaps? I don't understand the core of these gaps. All sound similar only. Evidence, empirical, all sound the same. Okay, there are very, very distinctive differences between them that you really need to understand. Only with examples you'll be able to. So, I'm giving you an example of a very well-known problem solver, Elon Musk. Okay, so this guy is known for realizing a problem, solving a problem, and making $1 billion out of it. So this guy is the greatest at that. He's brilliant. Okay, brilliant. So let's go with Elon Musk style on how he looks at these gaps. So evidence gap. Evidence gap means if a new research finding contradicts widely accepted conclusions, then it's an evidence gap. In the name of Elon Musk the Wise, when the whole world was okay with gasoline engine, Elon Musk presented contradicting finding on the gasoline engine. He did as a base to introduce electric vehicle. Before him, people did show, there's greenhouse problem, all this problem, but he is the one who actually what do you call that? Showed concrete issues. So there was there was an evidence problem there. So when you have contradicting findings, that can be a gap. Okay, that means there's disagreement between findings. Next one, just general empirical gap. This is a bit unique. So after manufacturing the first sets of EV vehicles, what is EV? Electric vehicle. Electric vehicle means no engine, only battery. All right. The first sets of EV vehicles after this guy manufactured, whatever problem Elon finds will be the empirical gap. So when prior empirical research has a certain gap and requires improvement, you can address those gaps with the latest data via experiment, questionnaire, interview, or quasi-experimental and so on. Then you will have knowledge gap. There is a scarcity of knowledge to design and build EVs. Okay, not many people know how to do this. Because it's very new, right? EV is very new. Same like online teaching when COVID came. A lot of teachers don't know how to do it because it's not their mistake. It's very new. Even I didn't know how to do it. I had to learn through hard ways. So that is called knowledge gap. That was the knowledge gap. So in this case, Elon Musk and his team designed new methods and techniques to design and manufacture electric vehicles. This is their solution. So when you have a new idea, the techniques to implement the new idea itself can be a gap. Okay, that is slightly different from methodology. Methodological gap is knowledge and methodology are different in the sense that even if Elon Musk finds the right engineers, okay, the next gap that he could face is the right method to implement all the knowledge. You have this, but don't know how to use this, don't know how to use it as a solution. So this is where methodological gap kicks in, know-how. So when quanti and quali is not sufficient anymore, quanti or quali not sufficient anymore, then we come up with mixed method or mixed with experiment. So we introduce new method or mixed method with quasi-experimental, mixed method with full experimental. Or just purely content analysis with quantitative, different methods according to your methodological gap. Next thing, theoretical gap. This is very much academic research. Some people just do it for theory, which is totally fine. And hard to relate to Elon Musk's style because he is a more practical guy. However, you can assume that if Elon Musk wants to theorize his entire operation or build a framework policies for his development, that is where theoretical gap kicks in. When you begin to solve a very new problem, you can start creating a theoretical framework for that particular problem. Grounded theory or mathematical derivation is very well known for this particular gap because grounded theory used to create new theory. Population gap, this is something else. In Elon Musk's language, this is his marketing demographic. When there is a new technology or application, are the people ready to accept it? That itself is a very unique research gap, very useful for market policy related research, especially in qualitative area. So as I've explained above with the help of EV and Elon Musk, please relate it to your own research and make a decision on which research gap or a combination of gaps might suit your research, not necessarily only one gap. You can use a combination of that, totally fine. Because the differences between them is very distinctive yet very slim. Okay, very slim. Now, you already know the types of gaps. What would be the approaches to find those gaps? How to find this? These are the 5 very well-known methods. Citation analysis, content analysis, meta-analysis, systematic reviews, future research, and limitations. Okay, now we are going into citation analysis. Let's go back to the same title that you guys already know. Steps to conduct citation analysis. Choose latest papers from a benchmark paper via Google Scholar. So, when you want to start doing a research, you must have a benchmark paper. A benchmark paper that you use, you call that the mother of all papers. Okay. So let's say online teaching. You will have a paper that talks about online teaching. So they already give you all the solution, all the problems that relates to that. From there, you develop. Many people develop already. And then it's already at some point, and then you take the mental from there, you develop another step. But the mother of all papers are always the first paper. You must get that. You must know which is the mother of all papers in your area. It's important to know that. Okay. So choose the latest papers from a benchmark paper via Google Scholar. Decide on key topics, Generation Y, retention, employment, which one you want to focus into. Determine the quality and credibility of the particular journal. When you say seminal paper means what, Aniza? Can you explain a bit more on what is seminal paper? If it's a conference paper, always cite it. Okay, as long as it's a solid publication, it's a solid book which gives rise to a very new topic. As long as it's not a conference paper pun boleh, but that conference paper has to be very, very good, very, very good conference, not holiday conference. Okay, the ones that are very, very good conference, I mean, no offense to what we organize here, but the very, very good conferences usually find in the US. Top-notch conference, education conference that are organized in US. Not all of it. There will be one or two conferences in every subject area. They'll either organize in US, they can organize in Japan, or they will organize in some of the countries in Europe. They'll jump usually. These are the kind of conferences where you see they'll get 4,000, 5,000 papers people submitting, but only 700, 800 will be accepted. Those kind of conferences, you can use that as benchmark paper. Apart from that, benchmark paper, I always encourage you to use Web of Science or Scopus Indexed. Okay, or very good books. Those are the things you can use as your benchmark literature. From there, you do your citation analysis. How to do citation analysis? Okay. Now you use Google Scholar. Why? I'll tell you why. Let me go back to here. So Web of Science settled already. We go to Google Scholar now. We search retention and development generation Y. Okay, we search. Okay. From this is the benchmark paper. Okay, that talks a lot about this. Okay, let's say example lah. Okay, probably not this, is probably this. Okay, but this is a very good impact paper, so I want to look at it. This is a Q2 paper, Web of Science. This Emerald Employee Relations. So I want to look at cited by. Why? From this, since this paper was published in 2018, I want to see what people had done since this paper was published. Because then only I will know the progress. Then only I will know the chronology of the story. Then only I'll be able to propose my solution. Otherwise, what am I supposed to propose if I don't know what had been done? This is what we call literature review technique. You click that. Now you get all the latest papers. Okay, since this is 2023. I don't know how old it gets. Okay, because I have to look through all the pages, but it gets very old also. Since 2018, sorry. Since 2018, because we clicked 2018 earlier, until now, what are the papers were published? So if you go sort by date, then you get all the latest papers. From here, you can analyze, start analyzing. My advice to you is always go from the latest to the oldest. So you will know what is the progress in a very nice chronology manner. So you know what is the latest first. Okay, so from there, citation analysis is conducted. And then whatever content you have taken, you do content analysis. Whatever papers that you have, you want to analyze, you use content analysis technique. Okay, steps to conduct content analysis. After citation analysis, content analysis to be done to determine similar themes, variables, codes, whether scientific or social scientific studies. After identification, further breakdown literature search. Now you do the next round literature search in your individual themes, individual variable, individual codes that you already break down your literature into. So how to do content analysis? This one class won't be enough, so I give you a note. Very hard to get note or notes in this content analysis area. So I only found one paper so far. Took me very long to find this paper. So although it's in an entrepreneurship education area, but what I want you to, if you want to read, if you want to understand content analysis, persistence and acuteness of research gaps in entrepreneurship education, this paper will teach you a systematic content analysis of previous reviews. Okay, so I'll share this note with you later, and then you can go through it and see how they actually do content analysis. The next one, citation done, content done, we go to meta-analysis. Okay, meta-analysis is more statistical analysis. Some of you might be interested in meta-analysis. It is not easy. It is quite complex, but very effective. First, you must define very clear research question. Okay, find empirical papers with similar scope questions. Okay, empirical papers. This one you need empirical papers. Categorize variables that are related. Run statistical analysis of differences, means and hedges. Not as simple as above, I have to be honest to you, but these are the very basics. Basically, a data analytics approach to research gap. So as you can see, after 1990, there is an exponential rise in meta-analysis papers because they're a very effective way of finding research gaps. So you, instead of doing meta-analysis, you can also go and explore meta-analysis papers in your own subject area to see what they have discussed. End of the day. And I also will share with you a very, very good journal that talks about meta-analysis and the science of research synthesis. If you want to understand further, this was published in Nature. How good is Nature journal? I'll show you. This is Nature, impact factor about the journal matrix. 69.5 impact factor. Okay, so it is one of the best journals in the world, one of the best in all areas. 69 impact factor. So for those who want to read this paper to understand meta-analysis, this is a very good paper for you to read. Next one, scoping review of systematic reviews. Systematic itself is complex. What is scoping review? Okay, I have a class on that. You can go and watch my Facebook live classes, systematic literature review, systematic versus scoping review, systematic literature review, and Prisma 2020. All three classes will explain to you as well. So from here, find the most appropriate systematic review papers in your subject. What is the difference? Systematic review, okay, you can only conduct on empirical papers. You cannot conduct on review papers. If anyone calls the paper systematic review and then use review papers as their review material, that is actually fundamentally wrong according to Prisma requirement. Okay, maybe the reviewers don't know, so these guys escape, but actually wrong. Scoping review, you can review both review papers and empirical papers and even books. Scoping review can. Systematic review cannot. Okay, always keep that in mind. Find the most appropriate systematic review papers in your subject. Validate quality of the papers. Always do this. Whatever you do, validate the quality. Indexing, impact factor, and quartile. Follow scoping review steps. Prisma SCR, Prisma scoping review. Watch all my videos. I already shown down there. Conduct scoping review on all the systematic review papers to find contrasting, uncovered, latest creativity info for research gap. Next class, we shall cover scoping versus systematic review. Next thing, the most easiest one of all, okay? Future research limitations. Whatever thesis, new one that you read. This is not wrong, but it's just a very nice shortcut for you to know at least, okay, these topics I can explore. These are the things that people have not done yet from the latest thesis that was published in any universities for that matter. So, okay, now I know that I can explore these areas. Okay, let me explore. Macam tu. That also you can do. Okay, so now coming down to the entire processes of carrying out PhD or masters, what you need to do at every step, or what you need to sail through the processes. Okay, before I probably don't want to go through this if all of you know this diagram already. How many of you here never seen this diagram before? Last year was 11 steps. I already upgraded. Now it's 12 steps. Okay, how many of you never seen this diagram before? If you've never seen, then I'll explain the processes to you. This diagram is already implemented in USIM already. I already trained the supervisors there. And next 21st of March, supposedly, I will train in UTP, the supervisors there, most likely. And probably after that will be tailors. So how many of you never seen this diagram before? In your chat box, please. Okay. Seems like quite a lot of you guys. Okay. That's not a problem. Okay, that means I'm very happy to see all the new people who don't know this diagram yet. It is a very unique diagram. It's already copyrighted in my website already. The moment I put on my website, it's already copyrighted already. This is a diagram that I created, a framework, I would say, a framework created back in 2020 during MCO. So this is my COVID gift lah. This is what I sit at home and did. So I break the whole processes of your journey into PhD proposal and PhD thesis, or master's proposal, master's thesis. Always break that into two pieces. Okay, we have a lot of students who come in and think about thesis, and then forget about proposal. Don't do that. Thesis will come. It's good to aim long term, but don't forget your short term goals. Okay, short term goal is to finish your proposal first. Without credible and incredible, not only credible, incredible proposal, your thesis would be very, very tough to get through Viva. So what you need is an incredible proposal in the first place. So that's why I got two sections, two segments, or two phases, I would say. So under PhD proposal phase, okay, these are the steps. This is my consulting framework. So when students cannot follow, or when supervisors sometimes send their students to us, coach them through the processes and so on when they're very busy, these are the processes normally we follow. Okay, so under PhD proposal, you have step number 1, which is a 10 pages preliminary proposal consultancy, which is RO, RQ. So what is 10 pages? 10 pages, you'll have introduction, background, RO, so problem statement, RO, RQ, significance, literature review, theory, if you have theory, most likely you should. Then next thing would be your framework or solution or experimental, quasi-experimental setup. What is your entire process flow of solution, whatever. Those are the things. And then finally, your methodology. 10 items will be in 10 pages proposal. For what? Why must I do this? Why can't I just do chapters 1 to 3? You can. No problem. But I have seen many cases where students write chapters 1 to 3, but sometimes they fail to align with what your supervisor's interest is, or maybe they go out of scope, or maybe even the proposal is not written properly. I have seen people, students scrapping away chapters 1 to 3 entirely in their life. I've seen that before. Very sad thing to see. Even what? Yesterday I had a call with a Unit 10 student. He has to scrap the whole chapters 1 to 3, 112 pages, I think. Completely useless. Okay, there's not even a framework there, so he just wrote it like a book because he doesn't know how to write a proposal, unfortunately. So we have to start the coaching program again, from scratch again for him. Not again, do it a brand new one for him, because he has never been coached before, so he don't know that he's on the right path or not. Since during COVID they were not here, they were all away, so during online interaction and so on, they couldn't get the proposal right. I don't know what happened lah. Okay, whatever happened doesn't matter. So now he has to scrap the whole thing, restart from step 1 again. To 1 year plus, almost, 1 year plus gone, scrapped. So always do this. My advice to you is always keep your supervisor informed on what you are doing. Okay, they need to know, because they are the bosses end of the day. They should know what is your preliminary idea. What do you want to do? Where is your brain going towards? What you're focusing on. So from there, they can tell you, okay, this is the right direction. No, I don't like this. You move here. I don't want this. You go here. No, this is not within my research interest. I don't want to do this. You should get that feedback from them within these 10 pages. Let's say a supervisor says, okay, I kind of don't understand what you're trying to do, but the area is okay. I need more information. Okay, then it's very good. That's where you jump into chapters 1 to 3, because you're already aligned now. You know where you're heading towards. You have a direction. Then you go and write your chapters 1 to 3, 50 to 80 pages and so on. From there, make sure that you do proofreading. Very important. You can choose whoever you want. There are many proofreaders out there, not necessarily us, whoever you want. But that is very important to do, because first of all, your explanation must be very structured. If your proposal is not structured, not clear, that's where your proposal defense, you will struggle a lot. This is my personal experience. I've seen students lah. Okay. Then only your proposal defense correction actually has an impact if you proofread properly, because when your committee, internal committee, if they can read and understand your proposal easily, with proper information, has to have both content, language, your life will be very much easier. Okay, it will be easier. So when we do proofreading, this includes for many of our clients from UPSI, including most of the supervisors, we always provide language warranty. What is language warranty? Language warranty is something very unique that we provide. Proposal, thesis, or publication, when we proofread until the end, okay, so that means until publication. Review is a different story. If the reviewers say there is language problem, we will redo, we will recheck for free, provided you don't make any changes. If you make any changes, you should let us recheck again. Okay, that is the warranty that we give. We are very committed to the quality. And obviously, certificate will be given. Lah. That is good. That goes without saying. Then make sure you do mock defense, mock proposal defense, and PowerPoint. Usually the ratio that we always advise is 60-40 or 70-30. That means 60 to 70% pictures, diagrams, illustrations, only 30 to 40% words. If you have the other way around, 70-80% words, only very little diagram, it draws a very bad picture because you'll be reading from the slide. It shows that you don't understand what you're doing. Very bad representation. Okay, then once you're done with all that, if you realize here, there is a drop point. What is this drop point? This drop point is where, especially for supervisors and students both, you should know that you can start writing your review paper here. Conceptual review, systematic review, scoping review, whichever kind of review. Third class, we will cover on that. And this upcoming Facebook Live, I'll be talking about that also. So these are the completed classes and upcoming classes. 23rd of March and 30th March. The recorded ones you can find 1st March, 2nd March, which focused on instrument design and literature paper reading, which the first one I don't think you need. The 23rd March and 30th March will be very important for you guys. Okay, will be very, very important. You can register yourself if you want to. Okay, so then this is where you can generate journals and you can already fulfill your requirements. The next question I might get is, can I actually publish systematic review in Scopus? I'll give you the answer towards the end of the class today. I'll show you how far you can go in terms of review papers. Okay, then we move to thesis phase. You collect your data and then you finish your analysis of chapters 4 and 5. We normally coach and consult on Smart PLS, Tata, eViews, Amos, MATLAB, NVivo, and so on. Okay, so that's what we normally do. Once you finish this analysis chapters 4 and 5, the integration is very, very important. How do you integrate here? Chapters 1 to 3, chapters 4 and 5, you produce step 9. Chapters 1 to 5, alignment consultancy for thesis. Why alignment? It's not as simple as just copy and paste. After you finish 4 and 5, you need to go backward and adjust back your chapters 1 to 3. Add more references, update references, add more content, tune your content to your chapter 4 and 5. Rewrite a lot of things sometimes and so on and so forth. That is a very, very important step before you ever do proofreading. Don't ever send for proofreading if you're not aligned yet. Okay, make sure, because if the story is not right from chapter 1 to 3, when your examiners reach 4 and 5, they won't be able to connect. They won't be able to connect, and that is not a problem you want to face during your Viva. Okay, and then here you can extract another 2 more journals. It can be meta-analysis, can be empirical journals, as many as you want, depends on how you want to dissect. Here again, this proofreading is very important. When you give to external examiners, you want to make sure the language and the structure, not formatting. I'm not talking about formatting. Formatting is easy stuff. I'm talking about the language flow must be perfect. Must be really perfect. Okay, and then prepare for your mock Viva. If your supervisor gives you mock Viva, that's very good. Please make sure you have one. Very, very crucial to do this. Okay, at least if you ask me, minimum 1 time, maximum 3 times lah. Don't do more than that. You will get exhausted. All right. And then whatever result you get, major or minor, we always coach students how to address the comments. You must address this very carefully. But at the same time, aim for not to do reviva or fail. That is what we don't want. Okay, major or minor is still fine. Because some minor looks like major anyway. Okay, I've seen that before. Okay, how do we normally assist students and supervisors in these matters? For those who already have written everything to a certain extent, publication, proposal, or thesis, they only want commenting. They want how to improve further. We have about 112 consultants working with us. All of them are Web of Science published authors. So we normally provide content commenting and online coaching. Okay, we don't do physical anymore. Nowadays, all just prefer online. And then for those who are at the very beginning, even supervisors in terms of publication and so on, or students who are stuck with proposal for a very long time, or even chapters 4 and 5, we provide Mode 3 and Mode 4, which is accelerated thesis or publication consultancy. This is a full coaching program that we will build, or content editing for special cases only. Okay. Now let's go to literature databases. Okay, in terms of literature databases, we have all these databases. Okay, now we already know how to find topic. We already know the kind of research gap. To fulfill all that, you need to know where to go and look for papers. Okay, I already emphasized Web of Science Scopus from the beginning. So, but actually, there are so many databases you can look for material. All these, all subject, medical, engineering, social science. I have put them all into one simple PDF file shared in my Telegram group with all the URL links, which you can access. Okay, which you can access. But let me go straight to the point. We have all these. Okay, we have all these databases. Some people like to use Science Direct, some people like to use Emerald, some people like to use IEEE Explore. Let me tell you that is not actually very good to do. Not actually very good. You know why? Because Science Direct limited to Elsevier, most of it at least. IEEE limited to IEEE. Emerald limited to Emerald. Taylor Francis limited to Taylor Francis. Okay, Eric limited to whatever Eric is showing, education literature. CILO limited to South American. PubMed limited to medical. But if you see, ultimately all of this goes back to three major databases: Google Scholar, Web of Science, Scopus. So Google Scholar, I already explained to you the problem with Google Scholar. Web of Science, Scopus, both are definitely advisable to use, but paid access, paid access. If you solve this problem, you're good to go. So don't get confused with so many databases. Okay, don't get confused with that. What you want, this would solve. All right? So for those who wants to learn, okay, let me repeat again, whoever wants to learn how to research in Scopus and Web of Science effectively, you can go and watch my videos. Okay, Google Scholar class will be in the next class. You'll be like, Google Scholar is very trivial. No, there's actually another option called advanced search. Some of you might not know there's called advanced search in Google Scholar. I will explore that in the next class. Okay, now we are going straight into hands-on paper crunching. Okay, what is this template? Literature summary template by Dr. Tawa. What is this? When you read a paper, okay, we tend to download a lot of papers. Okay, some of you can agree with me. We tend to download a lot of papers, but okay, and then we save the papers and we look at the folders. We feel very proud. Okay, we have so many papers to read. It's very exciting, right? But then most of it we won't read. It'll be just sitting there. Okay, some of you can agree with me. It actually happens. In all classes, I'll have 70% of people agree with me. It's sitting in a folder. We'll wait for a fine day to read, which will rarely happen. So instead, when we download 100 papers, maybe we'll read 10% of it. So reading is very essential for PhD and masters. Very, very important. So that's why I came up with this template, literature summary template. That means when you read, you summarize immediately. So this will forcefully push you to read a paper. And my another advice to you is always download a paper, leave it open, don't save it. The moment you save it, you have the reluctancy that the paper will never go missing. You can always go back and access. So you'll take your own sweet time to go back and access. This is psychology. I'm not telling you guys are doing it. I'm just telling it will happen or may happen. Okay. So instead of doing that, don't save the paper. Open this template. Start reading and fill up the information. Fill up the information: title, authors, introduction, theory, variables, methodology, analysis, findings, potential gap. So once you fill up all this is a vertical vector. Okay, a vertical vector, one-dimensional vector. What you want to do end of the day is a literature matrix. Okay, to be able to find gaps or to be able to establish your study in the first place. So all this information will go into every column or every row. Sorry, every row. This is a column, will become every row. So what happens? Every paper you read becomes every row. It will eventually become a literature matrix. So many papers, some even forget who had read. Exactly. Some papers you won't even remember you have read or not. That's why this literature summary, once you complete, you save with the paper in a folder. Read, summarize, save. After 30 or 40 papers, you know these are nice papers that you want to have part of literature. Open literature matrix, copy all the information inside. Literature matrix done. Boom, finish. Okay, you already have a solid literature matrix now. From the research gap column, you can start analyzing what is the gap. So that's what we're going to do today. So the four main objectives of literature review, which is going to be the theme of this year. Studying, which is obvious, we need to read a paper. Summarizing, I have given a template to do that. From there, you can identify and finally present in the text. These are the four things you need to do in a literature review. Okay, so how to read a paper? So I won't go through this. I'll go straight to the paper. Let's read the paper together. This is the paper we're going to read today. International Journal of Information Management. So for technical people and social people, this covers both. So this very general paper I choose. So for technical people, this is on information management, information technology, and so on. For social people who understands quantitative, qualitative, this one is based on quantitative, so it'll be easy for you to understand also. Okay, so the organizer has already shared the link to fill up your attendance. Please kindly fill up first. We'll take 1 minute to fill that up because later on they'll share with me and I'll email to all of you. Okay, the notes and the deck. Take 1 minute, please. Fill it up. After fill up, don't go yet. Please wait because there are more important information after this paper also on publication extraction and so on. Okay, so we are going to look at a paper with Web of Science Q1, not only Q1, ranked number 1 in this area with impact factor 18.958. Is it high? It's super high. It's fantastic number. All right. So the paper is focusing on information system capabilities. What is IS? This is IS. That means all the software, all the systems that is running on an information technology, whatever information technology that is lah. So information system and firm performance. How does IS helps firm performance? Opening the black box through decision-making performance and business process performance. They are introducing these two processes to make sure, okay, that IS actually helps improving a firm's performance. Put it as education, school performance. You how to use information system to improve school performance. These are the two processes, two solutions introduced by this paper. In next class, I will teach you how to check quality of journal on journal website and also how to check quality of JCR. This paper in Web of Science, JCR, Journal Citation Ranking. That will be all part of next class. Okay, we start with abstract. Okay, abstract, then we go to conclusion, then we go to the main content. You'll be like, why abstract go to conclusion? That's how actually you're supposed to read a paper. Not that is how you're supposed to. That is the best technique. So from abstract, you can connect straight to conclusion. You know what is going on, whether does the paper make sense or not. And in conclusion, usually they give you the limitation and all the future work. Sometimes most papers will give you that. Then only you go to the main content. Okay. So how to get this done? Let's look at this. Okay, so let's go to abstract directly. Okay. Abstract is usually dissected into 4 to 5 segments. First one, introduction. They talk about what information system and what it does to firm performance. Introduction. Then they talk about the theory and the solution that they are providing. Okay, they use mediating variable, resource-based view theory, all these things. Methodology is where usually you can find a lot of gaps. Okay, in this case, they have 204 firms. They use SCM and they focused on Turkey. Okay, they focused on Turkey. So from this, okay, my first question would be, is the sample size enough? Is the demographic limited? Okay, that's what I want to find out. Okay, I'm just telling my opinion when I read this paper. So, is the sample size enough? Is the demographic limited? This paper is impact factor 18 point something. That means it should be very, very well written. So that means to find problems and gaps in a very well written paper is very, very tough. That's why I choose this paper to show you how actually I can look at things, how I would look at things. Okay, so methodology, there are some gaps that I would like to explore. The test results said that human resource and administrative related IS is actually giving positive significance. What does that mean? Here, IS, they broke down into 3 dimensions: human resource, administration, infrastructure. What does that mean? The application or the usage of information system, how effective will it be if there are good human resource to use it, if there are good administrators to manage it, and good infrastructure to provide it. So they break into 3 dimensions. But here they say only human resource and administration. When you have that too, it actually gives positive influence towards firm performance. But infrastructure doesn't actually provide any good positive outcome for firm performance, which is also a major limitation that I don't think it's actually right. Okay, I don't agree with the result. The result is valid for this paper, but I still have skeptical feeling about this, because how can you say information system with not really infrastructure doesn't really give an impact? So that means, can I say that if I use computers from World War II and install Grammarly on it, and it will actually work very well and it will improve the performance? Just give you an example. Of course not. Infrastructure definitely gives an edge. Definitely gives an edge. So that is my first very, very important observation, which they never spoke about it in this paper. I mean, they never talk about it. How can that be possible? They only see infrastructure, not supporting. So straight away we go to conclusion. Why conclusion? Because we look at limitations and future research direction. Okay, so I'm not going to read this through. Okay, but here we go, just to show you. You can find in some papers you'll have this. I don't want to read this because I have deduced my own research gaps, which I'll show you in the summary later. Now we go to introduction. Okay, introduction are usually broken into few segments also. You must understand which segment you're reading. Okay, first they always start with introduction. This is all introduction, talking about what is IS, what is IT, blah, 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 all these things, which if you want to understand what is it, then you can just read it. Otherwise, it's like no point. But you can reuse. Okay, one important thing about this, you can reuse this information when you write your proposal and thesis. I'm not asking you to copy and paste. Some people say, during their class, you just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. No such thing. Don't copy and paste. What I'm telling is, adapt the content. Adapt the content is, when you have similar topic, you see how they writing style. You learn. Okay, you take the sentence, you write it in your own understanding, rewrite it. That's how I learned writing. To be honest, that's how I learned English in the first place. That's how I improved myself from very good write-ups. Okay, so this is introduction. This is background. How do you know that this is background? When there is statistical information present, that is usually background, because it gives you the background story with important statistical numbers to convince there is an issue that you want to look into. Then, continuing with that, usually is the motivation. These are all motivation. Usually motivation, you can find some essential information that can be a gap. Can be. So, here, check the rationale of the study, motivation rationale, okay? Check the rationale of the study and literature matrix if given on what the paper focuses on. So this paper got matrix. So we go to the matrix. This is the literature matrix. Summary of studies between IT-IS capabilities and firm performance. Okay, so these are all the papers, these are all the theories, these are all the relationships. Sorry, these are all the variables, these are all the relationships. So if you want to know more, you have to understand something. When a paper is talking about information system firm performance and they cite all these papers, doesn't mean they have already covered all these papers. They will only, Doctor, how can I get this class recorded? My line quite trouble here, really need it. Nur Intan, I think you can talk to NCDRC later, Puan Kila. They might be able to give you the recording, because I'm not recording, they are recording. Okay? Kiana, so later you contact Puan Kila lah. Okay? So, these theories, you must understand that this paper only took what is within their interest from this literature. They never cover the whole thing. So you won't know the whole story unless you go into it and read what is going on. So don't get deceived by reading this paper and think this is the only problem here. Actually, no. You must go through these references. You must. Then you'll be able to understand what is actually going on. So, in the matrix, all important literature will be summarized. Multi-layer reading means explore cited papers. That's called multi-layer reading. If you don't understand the theories, do another layer of reading on the theories. Here you can deduce the important variables of focused area and the theories. Then go back to the introduction. So we go back to the introduction. So based on the matrix there, this is what they have perceived. They have concluded. Some of these studies have captured a direct positive relationship between IT capabilities and firm performance. Okay, some of the studies say they're actually positive relationship. Very good. Okay, perfecto. But various authors such as Che, Cope, and Praibuto have pointed out that IT capabilities have no positive direct impact on firm performance anymore, since most standardized and homogeneous IS are being implemented through enterprise resource planning and web technology since 2000. So that is evidence gap. There is definitely contradicting findings. So what you do, then you can start a mini literature review within the introduction section itself. This is all literature review, all of this, okay? So you can go through this if you want to. I would advise you to read it. Okay, I mean, when you're reading paper, like when you come to this segment. Okay, I'm breaking down the introduction segment for you. So you can read through the review and explore the papers. Can compare of what you found in the conclusion in terms of limited. Sorry, not this. Okay. No, this is wrong. Okay, so forget this. So this is the literature review part lah. Okay, so from here is where the problem statement will be. These are all problem statement. Okay, after literature review, usually these are the problem statements. So this is the start of problem statement. Understand how limited is the scope of problem statement. In this case, the authors are only introducing IS dimension, business processes, and decision making. So use this statement in your research. Example, this paper only focused on IS dimensions with BP and DM, business process and decision making process, but not focused on enterprise resource management or other solutions. I'm just telling you from a problem statement how you can actually quote it into your paper when you want to critically review this paper. Okay, then introduction part will be all the solutions. After problem statement, it's usually purpose statement. Problem statement, purpose statement. Purpose statement means what is the solution? And then the rest are all contributions. These are all contributions until here. Okay, until here, these are all contribution statement. That means what exactly the paper is contributing. Okay, this is the actual contribution. So here, introduction, usually that is where you can find the gap. If there's literature matrix, you can try to go through all the papers. You can try to find the gap. Then the rest, introduction, you have to break it down to segment by segment. Introduction, you won't find anything. Background, usually you don't find anything. The contradicting part, you might find something. The literature review part, you will definitely find something. The problem statement part is where you can requote, usually. Okay, that is where you can use it to critically review those papers. Okay, then you'll come to segment 2. This is theoretical background and hypothesis. Okay, so here, usually, most gaps can be found in abstract, conclusion, and section 1. In literature review, which is this section, okay, this is the thorough literature review lah. Mostly you can analyze if the theory was appropriate or not, because this section is entirely related to the solution of this paper. And then what you can check is if the present literature to support the variables and mediators were appropriate or not. In this paper, those were sufficiently done, so not going to explore further. But my problem is always with the RBV, which I'll explain in the discussion section. So you can skip this and go straight to, I'm not asking you to skip your paper. I'm skipping this because in this paper, this part is well done. There's no more gaps here. So we go to methodology. When you read a paper fresh, make sure you read everything. Don't skip like me. Okay? Because in 2 hours class, I cannot go through everything. So research methodology here is usually where you'll also find a lot of gaps. The questions you should always ask is the instrument valid? Is the sampling valid? Is the demographic valid? Right? So here, they have very good citation for instrument. So instrument is pretty much very valid. But in terms of sampling, they only took Turkey. Only limited Turkey. So is that widely generalizable? That is a gap. Next thing, they only took one respondent per firm. This is a very big problem. Okay, it's okay for this paper, but this is where you can actually explore. Well-established process, however, only one respondent per firm. Does that represent the wholesome perspective, a necessary gap? Okay, then the rest all okay. You can go to data analysis and results. If you want to read, you can definitely read. Usually, result analysis would not give you new gap. It won't. Okay, usually you'll do comparative analysis when you do results and discussion. No, not discussion, results. Okay, but you can also read it if you want to do meta-analysis to find gaps. Okay, this is very important segment for meta-analysis. Then you go down further to, please stay with me, we are almost finishing already. Now we go straight to discussion. Discussion, you can find some gaps. So discussion may give some gaps. Example, here they say, no support, however, has been found concerning the serial mediation effect between ISIC infrastructure and firm performance. Okay, my question is, how is that even possible, as I explained earlier? So my skeptical feeling here is the theory. If you aim to establish a gap via theoretical perspective, is where you need to analyze strongly. Is RBV the right theory, or did they limit themselves with only one theory? Because probably RBV never give proper reflection on infrastructure dimension. So maybe they never get the right questionnaire items as well. Okay, it's all connected in a way. So if they use maybe technology acceptance model or any technology related theories, they might have a better perspective on infrastructure. So that could be a major limitation of this study. Okay, and that's about it. That's how you analyze a paper to find research gaps. So once this is done, then you come back here, you fill up all the information. Introduction, what the paper did. Theory, what were the theories? If you don't have theory, just leave it blank, that paper lah. If you have variable, if the paper had variables, fill up. If the paper had solution, you can change this. Okay, because here I have given the search again. I've given the Word document summary, not review, summary. Okay, here literature review summary template in Word document. Okay, so this is the Word version of summary literature. Okay, so you can download it from there. You can use it. Feel free to use, no problem. Okay, so then if you look at my potential gap, findings all stated there, my potential gap is findings are limited to Turkey. Will it be the same in other parts of the world? Only a single respondent per company doesn't prove a collective feedback of the entire organization. Several other moderators can be implemented, such as firm culture, financial implication, and so on. Enterprise resource planning can be explored with the said mediators as well. These are the gaps that I analyzed, I deduced. Okay, you fill this up, you do literature matrix, I think you will be totally fine. Okay, so this one is already done already. I already explained everything. Just summary for you to go through later. Okay, I've already explained all of it. Now, from proposal, pathways to publications. I'm starting this on early because I don't want you guys to wait until what app? Can you tell me what is the app Dr. Tawa used on watching the thesis and citation? Thank you very much. Watching the thesis and citation, I use Google Scholar or I use Web of Science. Sorry, I don't know your name. P202120033185. Sorry, I don't know your name. I normally use Web of Science, Google Scholar. That's about it. Nothing else app I use. I don't believe in all this scholarly C. What is that? What is another one? Not to say I don't believe, I'm still old school. I still prefer that way. Okay. As long as I know systematic review process very well, which I do, then I think I'm good to go. Okay. And if I can produce literature matrix, then I think I'm totally fine. Okay. So now, how far can review papers go? Why I'm telling this now itself? Because you can wait until I come to the third class, which will be somewhere in June, August, I think, roughly. But you can also start exploring now. And I'm also having a Facebook live class very soon. Okay, so you can, but it won't be as comprehensive as the one I'm preparing for UPSI. Okay, but it's because it's only 1 hour. So this is the farthest our clients have gone. Okay, part of these papers we had paraphrased, proofread, consulted, or coached. Either of it. Okay, we have done most of it for these papers. So this is the highest we have went. We as a firm have gone as high as impact factor 21, which is under review now. But this is the one already published. This is from UTM, Dr. Adila, from her thesis proposal last time. Q1, impact factor 16.799, SCI, rank number 1, narrative review. This one is from Dr. Bernard, my very good friend from UPM, graduated already. This is during his proposal. Q1, impact factor 16.002, SCI, ISI, rank number 2 out of 144, narrative review. This one is from Dr. Parvez. He was already back in India, an assistant professor now. Just last year he left. We wrote a scoping review paper together last year. We wrote a paper together as well. Q1 impact factor 10.8, SCI, this is SSCI, sorry, this is SSCI, rank 7 out of 171, conceptual review. Okay, this is another very good example from technical background, engineering. Q1 impact factor 7.144 from UTM, SCI, ISI, rank number 9 out of 138, systematic conceptual review. So that is how far you can go. Okay, definitely can go. Just to show you an example. But I'm not telling all the papers can go into Web of Science, but what I can tell you is definitely can go into Scopus. Definitely can. It will take a bit of time, but definitely possible. And from this, how important is proofreading? This is the same paper I just shared with you earlier, Journal of Building Engineering from UTM. That is the transformation we did to the paper. Paraphrasing, proofreading, editing, and structuring. Just one minor revision, paper was accepted. Okay, why is that important to proofread? Because when you have good content, which most of you definitely can write good content, but when you have bad language, thesis, proposal, or paper, no one will be able to understand or appreciate. They'll feel very irritated. I can tell you, I review a lot of papers. I review a lot of theses also. I know how irritating is that. Okay, but some people also presume that if you have, as the biggest proofreading firm in Malaysia, I can tell you, some people do come to us and tell, don't have that very good content. I think it's okay, but proofread and make sure it gets in the Web of Science. Won't work that way. No such thing. You must have good content and good language, both together. Then only readers will appreciate the value of the paper and also will love to read. It works hand in hand. Okay? There is no shortcut to this. This is also from UTM, happened last year. He's a senior lecturer in UITM now, Dr. Tun Irfan. Got Best Thesis Award. Okay, we had the pleasure of coaching, consulting, and paraphrasing, proofreading his thesis. That is what the thesis went through. And he almost had no correction. He only received 2 corrections only. 2 simple mistakes only, not the language, the content is 2 simple mistakes only. Otherwise, he would have passed without correction. Yeah, I think he finished the correction on the same day itself. Massively minimal correction. Okay? So for those who are attending our classes, we do provide ultimate thesis package up to 30% off, proposal or thesis or publication proofreading, publication up to 20% off lah, 10 or 20%, proofreading, translation, formatting services. We are the one and only language warranty provider which covers you lifetime. Okay? And don't always, if you approach us, we ask you for information for certificate, please make sure you provide this certificate has to be submitted along with your paper or thesis. Must be, especially for publication. You must submit with your certificate and make sure that whatever certificate that you use have necessary endorsement. Okay, we haven't added MD yet. We are the only academic consulting firm that had managed to get Malaysian digital status from MDAC. Okay, we are recognized by ministry now lah, as a Malaysian digital company as well. Okay. So today's class, I'm going to give you these free notes. I'm going to give you the denoted paper, how to actually scan through a paper. I'm going to give you the meta-analysis notes. I'm also going to give you the content analysis notes. I'm going to give you the conceptual paper to prepare you to write papers during your proposal time itself, and also my own scoping review paper that I published last year, Scopus Q1 MDPI. Okay, so please make sure you fill up the form so I can email you. Do you guys want the slides deck also? Please let me know. If you guys want the slide deck, I'll attach it together. Okay, all right, sure, I'll attach it together. And don't forget, we have Facebook Live classes coming up, 2 completed. You can go and watch the playback, recorded one. You can also attend the 2 classes here, okay, 23rd and 30th of March. So these are the classes. Okay, you can register yourself. And for today's class, okay, another important matter before you go, I need to share with you. This is the link to review today's class. But it's not only to review, it is also for you to propose what Facebook Live classes you want, apart from what we agreed at UPSI. I also give you the opportunity to raise your own question, or you raise your own classes. Okay, I will conduct the class for you. You can click this link I've just shared. Make sure you review, hit 5-star. Don't hit less than 5-star. Okay. If you're going to hit less than 5-star, then don't click. You can WhatsApp me directly. Okay. So if you're going to click 5-star, hit that link, and in the comment there, write down what else you want to learn. Okay. So I can convert that into Facebook Live class. March is finished already. April, we have 2 classes booked already. Students already requesting. And then most likely, and April is Raya month. So we will come up with new classes in May. Facebook live classes lah. Okay. And this is where we are located in Cyberjaya. You're welcome to visit us. But please let me know. I'm always on the move. Or we can always conduct online meeting. This is my WhatsApp link. You can reach out to me if you want to. Okay. So last but not least, for all the supervisors, okay, we have Prof. Amir here, we have Prof. Siti here from UM, from City University is the Vice Chancellor, he is the Deputy Vice Chancellor now in City University, and a lot of students as well. I never did physical classes for a very long time, probably going to start doing it now, probably this year. What we normally focus under our consulting verticals, that is a bit blur all the time. So we always focus on publication, content editing, only Scopus Web of Science. We don't do ERA. ERA you can do on your own. Don't waste your money, don't waste your time. You can do it on your own, but I always encourage to go minimum Scopus. Don't focus on ERA only. It's not going to take you very far. Okay? And then we also coach a lot on proposal defense and thesis viva on how to respond to examiners. Okay? Both lah. And then for those who are stuck from beginning of PhD proposal all the way to defense, we also coach them a lot. We also prepare students for defense and viva if they don't have enough confidence yet. Thesis to journal conversion is one of our hottest services that we provide. We teach them how to convert, when to convert systematic review, conceptual review, when to convert scoping, when to actually generate empirical papers and so on. And finally, on the chapters 4 and 5, we always coach and consult on data analysis and interpretation. Smart PLS is one of our hottest, Amos, Tata, NVivo, eViews, MATLAB, and so on. Okay? So, and also chemical softwares as well, XRD and so on. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Sorry, I took a bit of extra time because certain things I need to explain in detail. Thank you for joining my class today. I hope you benefited from the class today. Don't forget, we have upcoming class in May. No, I think June, August, and I think one more is somewhere in between. I think probably I missed out the date. So I hope you benefited from today's class. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to watch my Facebook live classes and get most of the knowledge for free actually. And the templates from Telegram group. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks so much. I hope it really benefited all of you. And here are the link again for all my resources, my link tree. Save it, keep it, share it with your friend if you want to. Then this is the link for review today. Make sure you register yourself for today's class with NCDRC. And then my Facebook live classes. Make sure you go and register. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, everyone. I hope next class will be even more interesting. Don't worry. There will be more information there. And then this is my WhatsApp link. Okay, WhatsApp link I only share during classes. Normally you won't find it in the link tree because otherwise I cannot sleep. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Have a very good afternoon and remaining day. So see you all very soon in the next class. I wish you all the best with your PhD. And for supervisors, I wish you all the best with your publication. Remember, aim minimum scopus. Don't worry about ERA and so on. If you can get into Web of Science, please do, by all means. It will take you very far when you get into Web of Science. Okay? So wish you all the best, guys. And don't spend too much of time doing PhD. If you can finish on time, please do. If you cannot, don't go more than 4 or 5 years. Okay, so wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.